Buffalo Bills fans, what is up? It's another fun day Sunday here. Um, the kind of game where you sit and watch, and eh, at the risk of sounding cocky, I just was like, I want them to win. Pretty much know they're gonna win. Just knock on wood, you know, no craziness, no fluky crazy injuries, no dumb shit, no nothing like that. Just play your game. And you saw the team kind of take that stance too. It looked like a game where the team was like, you know what, look, we're gonna just go out there, we're gonna sit some guys, we're gonna rest some guys, we're gonna shake up the lineup, we're gonna have some new additions and the actives, and we had a few surprises today, and I think we're gonna have one that's gonna be permanent. What's up, guys? How you doing? Damn, you guys are in the room hot and heavy. I love it. I love it. You guys are ready to roll. I don't know. Like I just saw that this game, they didn't really start to the second half. They're like, look, let's go finish this team off. They're just waiting to be put out of their misery, and let's just turn our attention, our focus to next week. And I don't want to talk about next week just yet because we know how big that is and how important that is for everything. But it it also showed me that they're able to play differently. They're looking to play more diversified offense, and they're not doing it because of injuries. You see them working on stuff in game. Spencer Brown today. I got a little bit of a tip early in the week. You can go check the Twitter feed out. It was on Tuesday or Wednesday. It was pretty early in the week. Spencer Brown would be starting this game. They decided that Sunday night, end of last game, they decided that was going to be the case. Okay. Didn't like Cody Ford's output. They decided right then and there. Feliciano's injury came up later in the week via concussion. That was unfortunate. Poyer rolled his ankle, held him out. Teron Johnson tweaked the groin. They didn't want to put those guys on a wet field. Milano, he was on the sidelines after he came out of the blue tent. Didn't want to put him back on the wet field. So it looks like these injuries are of the very minimal variety. But Spencer Brown, what he brings, the attitude that he brings, just the physicality that he brings a nasty factor to our offensive line. Feliciano does. Spencer Brown really brings it. You see the way granted, small sample size, 8 plays, left an impression, and he got the start. Didn't notice him out there. Pretty clean game for the Bills offensive line. The only sack I saw given up was given up by Deion Dawkins. He went down, but he came back in after one play. Thank goodness. Yeah, but Spencer Brown looks like he's going to be starting on this offensive line going forward, and we can look at that situation and just say, you know what, this team. And you look on the defensive side, Harrison Phillips back up after 2 games. Butler healthy scratch. If you don't produce, if you don't play up to a certain standard, a certain level, and I still have to get used to it. You're gonna be in street clothes on Sundays, and somebody else is gonna be up. Boogie Basham, first game active, gets a sack. See, there's a guy who came out hungry, inactive 3 straight games, gets a sack off the rip, very early in the game. And man, the Texans, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to say if you can call that an NFL team, but they are a mess, man. They were a mess. And yeah, I'm gonna show this. Craziness during this game. The I don't know. I know you guys. The feed, the broadcast went out. It came back up pretty quickly, and then they were handling it in studios in New York. It was like a blue screen. Then the feed popped back up, and then the very first play was Josh Allen deep to Diggs. Diggs had a nice day today, 7 for 114. After the first pass, it was kind of that interception, first play of the game. It's like, oh fuck, why are you gonna do this? Just this team you could just tell this team is not good. You saw it on the first offensive series for the Texans. This is not a good football team. They got a rookie quarterback in there who's totally in over his head. You can exploit these guys. 4 interceptions today. Tip drill city. Our backup safety linebacker got interceptions. Jaquan Johnson, Tyler Matakevich ended the game. We had this reminded me of one of these early 90s Bills wins. There was a couple of games where the Bills just got a big lead on a few teams early, and you would see Frank Reich throwing passes, just handing the ball off to Kenneth Davis, things like that. This isn't a kind of win that Bills fans of nowadays are used to. This is what it looks like when you have a really, really, really good team against one of the worst teams in the league. You batter them, you put them to the sword quick, and you try not to embarrass them, but it's almost hard not to, if you get my drift. Let me read some of the comments here. We're much better on defense this year, man. And Star makes such a difference. He's playing. He's looking like a guy who looks refreshed after a year off. He looks like a different player after a year off. He looks leaner, but he's still just as physical. He looks like he's playing really, really fast. He got another sack again today, a legit sack. He blew his guy up, drove him right back into Mills's lap, and then took him down. Just what's up, man? How you doing, bro? Trabsdale's in. The ball clearly sailed on Allen. Yeah, the rain. You know what it reminded me of? The home game last year against KC, where it's raining, it's sloppy. Offense really never got its legs under them. Offense moved the ball. Irritating thing, they just stalled in the red zone, and it looked like they were just trying to work on stuff down there. They ran the ball very, very well. And then you saw the handling, the ball handling just got messy. Diggs had to put a few balls on the ground. One was called an incomplete pass. Very next play, they do a little jet sweep action to him. He fumbled, but Bills, picked each other up today. 5 turnovers forced today. And it was crazy day. 90 points plus in the scoring differential. 2 shutouts, 2 clean sheets will pad your stats. Definitely is. And man, it's just really good to further put a face plant on this division. And you saw one division team lose, another one picked up a win, but it helps the Bills seeing the Titans lose to a then winless Jets team. That helps the Bills. Read some of the comments here. Hamlin, Cam Lewis came to play today. Yes, so a lot of physicality from them, who's saying Lewis had a few good pass breakups via hit. I saw him pop the ball out a couple of times. I love watching Moss. Yeah, Moss Soda looks like a guy. Like a little bit of thunder and lightning action. I like the way Devin responded, though. You saw he got the one. And I know it's crazy because it seemed like the Bills got called for a lot of penalties today. They didn't. Only 3 for 30. But it just seemed like anytime the Bills did something good was one big, I think it was a punt return, holding, or a block, holding something called back from McKenzie. Then that big long run to Singletary, holding. It was just and the Texans 10 penalties for 100 yards. They were just a hot mess. What's up, Jake? How you doing, bro? Yeah, he threw the ball and it just got away from him there. But how about Knox? Everybody this whole offseason crying, got to get Zach Ertz, got to make a trade for Zach Ertz, and you see time and time again, the staff trusts its ability to develop guys. It trusts the guys that they draft, and if you don't produce, you don't play. Cody Ford, 2nd-round pick. He's backing up a rookie who was just drafted this year in the third round. Tommy Doyle's up. He played at the end of the game some. So again, if you don't show what they want, they're going to put you in street clothes on Sundays, and somebody else will be in. And the guys that we called up today played their asses off. It's hard to shut out teams in this league. It's hard to turn over 5 teams in this league. It's hard to just kind of go out there and make it look like a scrimmage in the NFL. That's the thing about this Bills team. Allen, after the first interception, the only interception, after his first pass that was intercepted, he was 20 for 28, 250, 2 touchdowns. Had some stalls in the red zone where I feel like they could have scored. I saw that situation at the end of the half where they kicked the field goal. I was like, I get it. They're getting the ball at the beginning of the second half. They want to double dip. They don't want to give up the chance for three. You go up by 2 true scores, three traditional, 2 modern, and I get it. It was I that was probably the most frustrating part of the day. Is this team again a situation where they if they would have been clicking, they could have put 60 on this team. They could have literally put 60 points, and that's not exaggerating. I mean, Allen hit some crazy passes today. So there was the regression talk stays where it belongs. Some of those passes to Diggs were ridiculous. The one first play of the second quarter where he scrambled to his right and threw it to Diggs coming across the sideline, that was insane. The first pass after the blackout, the broadcast over the top to Diggs, beautiful deep ball. Hit some nice passes to Emmanuel Sanders, who was just working back in coverage. Beasley had a pretty quiet day. Knox had the first touchdown catch of the game where catch and run, absorb some contact, put it in the end zone, and they got another one. Nice little it was like a little bit of a play action and then he was wide open. 4 touchdown receptions this year, and he's getting better. He's more and more confident. I'm not afraid when they throw him the ball anymore, whether it's going to be caught or not. He's making routine plays, and he's that's why this team is in 12 personnel now. They're in three wide receivers, tight end, 1 running back, as opposed to last year where they were pretty much always in 10 personnel, 4 wides and 1 running back. And you're seeing other, today you saw Tommy Sweeney and Knox on the field, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and 22 personnel. And then you saw 21 personnel where they had Reggie Gilliam and fullback, offset eye, straight eye. They were really, doing some different things on offense today. What's up, Trey? I'm going to read some of the comments. I'm talking a lot. Let me read Jake. I don't think the ball sailed. Allen was in the pocket. He had to make it look like he was trying to get it to Diggs. Yeah, it was this feat. It looked a little. Lonnie Johnson, the guy who caught it, not the former Bills tight end. It looked like it was right to him. It looked like the ball just got away from Allen. Knox and the run game is going to give defensive coordinators a lot to think about. Yeah, they really look like they're trying to add different dimensions to their offense as opposed to running what they ran last year. They're putting all different types of new wrinkles, new formations, and they're trying to use them. And so you really don't know what to game plan for. That's video game shit right there. That's pro Madden player stuff. If you're really, really good, it's very, very difficult to stop. And then sometimes teams are so good, what they're going to run, you still can't stop it. Let me read some of the comments here. Hussein Steelers, yeah, it's crazy. It just, again, my comment after that game was, let's play that team tomorrow. They beat them. We all know Bills play the Steelers the next day on Monday Night Football. Bills would have won. So I was pissed. I'm still pissed, but look at where the 2 teams have gone 3 weeks later. It's no surprise. It's not a surprise to me at all. I'm gonna read some of the more comments here. Soda, we are a very deep team. Anthony, is that black and white? No, man, it's Walmart. McBrizzle, Houston was lucky. The only down by 30. Yeah, man, they could have, like I said, they could have been down by 30. Bills hit a couple of touchdowns. It was rough for them. They were in bad shape. If you guys can update some of the games in here randomly that are going on right now, always feel free. I'm watching the Green Bay Steelers game, but if you guys are watching any other games, Seahawks, 49ers, I know we got Jake in here is over there in the West Coast. I got some Midwest guys. So if you want to update games randomly here, always feel free, man. McBrizzle, Houston was lucky. Yep, got to that one. Yeah, they were to be fair, firm but fair. I could have said 28-0. I would have been happy. 24, but 16-0. I was like, okay, but yeah, it should have been more like 24-0 at half. What's up, Trevor? How you doing, man? Yeah, that was a nice little tack on INT. It was a touchdown. Yeah, there was so much more, man. There was so many more plays to be had there. It was really irritating. It goes back to what um, McBrizzle was saying. This game should have been at half easily 24-0. That's me being generous. Run game, yeah, not only that, just keeping defenses honest, Steve. Just being able to play one way, switch back to playing another way, and then whatever the game calls for. Because there was one loss in particular, the Bills, the Arizona game where they're up, was it 24-7 or 24-6? I forget which one. They were up in that game. And God damn it, fucking if you had a running game, if you had this year's running game, this year's pass rush, Bills win that game, no problem. No problem. You keep Murray off the field, you salt away the game, you speed up the clock, you win the game, no problem. You get one game right there that it's an easy win. Instead, when you have to play one way on offense and it's not working that particular day, you run into that situation. I think the Bills still put up 30 that day and lost on a Hail Mary. So, and I believe Arizona went on. They lost 7 out of their last 8. So, I'll read some of the comments. Tom, Vic, do you think we will lose Mitch Trubisky? Nah, he's fine. He's our backup quarterback. It's nice, seeing the backup quarterback come in and you see his mobility. He's a professional. He's been in the league. It's not like deer in the headlights. He's just calm, cool, and collected. You know what's going to happen to Mitchell Trubisky? He's going to go somewhere after his Bills stint, unless maybe he resigns with the Bills for another year. And he's going to have a Ryan Tannehill-like resurgence to his career. He's going to be free of that whole situation in Chicago. He's going to go somewhere else and play good football. Watch. What's up, Anthony? The addition of Sanders is way bigger than I thought. Yeah, man, he's such a pro. He's tough. He's just sure-handed. He's always available to Josh. He makes really, really good plays. You had a birthday party. You couldn't see the game. Yeah, it sucked, man. That sucks, dude. Probably just checking your Twitter right and left. I fuck that. I tell people Sundays during the season, you know where I am. Don't bother me. Jake, our defense, yeah, shut out with probably 2 guys. Well, if you look at it, Milano left the game in the first quarter, and that's 3 guys right there that have been playing amazing football for us. Granted, they're playing against a team like the Texans, but man, when you're playing without 3 guys of that caliber, that ilk, and you still lay an egg on the scoreboard for the opposing team, 5 turnovers, that's really good stuff. That's really, really good stuff. Read some of the comments here. Yeah, it was Steve. That's another game. And a little bit the Seahawks game too. Seahawks made a little bit of a comeback. Bills went down and scored. Then I think Klein got a turnover and they were able to, put that game away. But a game like that, the Rams game, where you can't run the ball, you can't speed up the clock, you can't, give your defense a break, keep a quarterback like Mahomes off the field. Goff had a crazy good game that day. So let me read some of the comments. Trapdale, Spencer Brown tackled Zach Moss and Gabriel Davis dropped a touchdown. Yeah, that was he knocked. I think he tried knocking him forward on that one, but yeah, that was a definite drop by Gabe Davis. He had that. It would have been a very, very tough catch, but he had that. Matt Soda was so happy to see Boogie. Yeah, and he was really excited, and he played a lot today. Like our young ends played a lot today. Like Ruseo just doesn't come off the field anymore. They were mixing and matching a little bit. Hughes got a lot of burn. Addison was on the sidelines more than I think he got the least amount of snaps of any D end. But back to the Milano thing, I think that was a score effect, opponent effect, looking at the next 2 games before you get a bye. I saw him walking around on the sidelines with his pads on and stuff. If you're really, really injured, you go to the back, you don't show up again. More of a score effect. I was shocked they even let Deion Dawkins back on the field after one play, but he went back on the field and played the rest of the game till Tommy Sweeney took his spot late. Not Tommy Sweeney, Tommy Doyle. Sorry. Yeah, he tried knocking him into the end zone. I really have a lot of confidence in those two now running. I just like to see them challenge and battle each other because it seemed like once Moss took the reins of the game, the running game, Singletary, once he got back on the field, man, he started running really hard. He was picking up 5, 6, 7, 8 yards of carry. He broke up a few long ones. Josh looked explosive today, too. That was, I don't know if you guys noticed that. The one where he just bolted around the one side, it was a third and short or a fourth and short. He looked like he got shot out of a cannon. I was starting to wonder maybe he's not wearing down, but he's trying to rein it back in, not be that runner. It's good to know he still has that go in him because the one where he kept it to and he booked. Like he gets to the second level. He's got some nice moves. You just don't want to see him take any crazy hits. Is our defense? Yes, our defense is. You know what it is? It's the defensive line rotation, the experience and the depth, and then I also feel like our experience level, especially in big games, is so much greater than 2019. It's like you had 2019, you had 20, and you have this year, and that's just what 20 plus games of playoffs, big games, primetime games, and just better talent, better talent. I mean, you don't have, they played hard for us when we were here, but instead of Quentin Jefferson, the only guy maybe who could come back and be on the field for us is maybe Jordan Phillips, maybe. But Trent Murphy and guys like that, they're, and you replace them with Ruseo, Basham, Epinesa, young, hungry, long, athletic guys that just have motors, just nonstop. So I think our defense is better than that year. I think it's better. Yeah, Barkley, I think it's better. Yeah, I think our run D had just a couple of bad games in there. It wasn't terrible, but that Eagles home game, same kind of game as it was today, really rainy, ugly. Bills really couldn't get anything going that day. It was like 30 to, I think they lost 31 to 13 that day. It was an ugly day. Yeah, it was good to see Diggs get his shit off today because they were trying to get him a touchdown. It's like they were really just trying to get guys touchdowns when they got there and they ended up stalling. I was just like, just punch it in. I don't care who gets it, just punch it in. Just like when they kicked the field goal late, I was just like, Josh can just go in, right? He can just like sneak it in, no problem. Just do one of those reaches and he's in. But they kicked the field goal. I'm being a greedy prick. Yeah, the Bills are sneaky good with the run. I think we're third in the league. Yeah, they're really, and I think the way Spencer Brown played at the end of last week, they made the decision that Sunday night, we're going to start this kid against this team and see how he does. And the Feliciano injury popped up during the week, so they really went with the plan. And I think you're going to see him at right tackle now going forward. I just don't see him. It's just that mentality that he has, that nasty, mean prick mentality that we need on the line, and just it adds just a different dimension. Instead of a finesse, we can get a little nasty and ugly too. I was a little. You can only be so worried when you score 30 plus points a game. Think of that world we live in now as an offense where we can score 30 points a game, and that's considered a good day, not a great day. It's just a good day. That's a good offensive day. That's where the world we live in now as Bills fans. It's beautiful. I love it. But when you have, I also worried about the finesse factor. Are we too cute? Are we too finesse? Can we get nasty and ugly and mean when we have to? And he adds that. Feliciano and him, they really have that, I think, to this line. McKenzie was almost, yeah, that was the penalty, one of the penalties. It was really irritating. Just seemed like the 3 penalties the Bills got called for just brought back big plays. Really pissed me off. I don't understand why Feliciano lost weight. He just says he feels better. He says he feels better. He says he feels like he moves better. His joints feel better. And man, I don't know if you've seen offensive linemen after they leave the game now, more so now than ever, they turn into different dudes. Look at Eric Wood. Go look at Chad. Was it Hutchinson? He was an offensive guard for a long time with the Vikings, and he played for the Jets. I'm not sorry. The I think he played for the Jets a little bit. And then Alan Faneca. You look at a lot of Nate Newton. You look at a lot of these guys now. They lose like 50, 75, 100 pounds. They just say if their bodies feel better, that they just he looks nice and lean, but maybe he's just getting used to playing with it. He moves really good. So let me read some of the comments here. They didn't ask him to. I just think he feels better physically, and and that helps the guy. Well, it was a concussion, so it wasn't really a body head. It wasn't like a muscle joint related thing that he got hurt. Nick Wright puts us on upset alert every week. The guy's like what? Like he's your typical New York media bubble person, whether it's mainstream media, sports media. He lives in that New York bubble where they know nothing except what they say to each other and their whatever fixation they have. And it happens. You see it happen to former players that go into that circle. You see it happen to like just the talking heads that just live in that world. They talk to each other. You see them. They pat each other back on Twitter. They subtweet each other. They kiss each other's asses. They only talk shit to fans, or they find the lowest common denominator when it comes to fans and pick on them. They'll never respond to anything intelligent, well thought out, well worded. They just won't. Read some of the comments here. I'm a big Davis guy, but adding Sanders, yeah. And you know what? Davis is still there, man. I mean, he was my pick to lead the Bills in touchdown receptions after the one in Week 1. It's been Knox. Knox is the guy they're really looking at down there. But I think Davis still has. Man, we know what he's capable of. That's how deep this team is we can just kind of like lay back, switch it up a little bit, and go in a different direction, but just ride the hot hand, whatever that hot hand may be. Now, if Knox wasn't making the most of his opportunities, he wouldn't be getting the passes. He wouldn't be getting the playing time. So it's not like we're just running a guy out there to run a guy out there. Gone are the days of, I'm going to bring up some really old, bad Bills tight ends are just very average. Derek Schumann, Derek Fine, Robert Royal, Mark Campbell, Dave Moore. Let me bring up some other ones that are just blah. There's been so many that just gave you nothing, and this kid, I think he's growing. This isn't even close to what he's going to be. Yeah, Sanders is open. He's just a professional. I was looking at some cut-ups of him, trying to teach younger guys how to run routes correctly and how to like make yourself available for quarterbacks. And he was getting on him. It's like, look, if you don't do this right, you're not going to stay in the league. You'll get in the league with your physical ability, but running shitty routes like that is not going to keep you in the league, and you're not going to get open. You're not going to get open. And this is a guy who's been to Super Bowls, won a Super Bowl, and still hungry for more. And as Bean said, he's been trying to get him. And now when you have a big-time quarterback, you can get guys like this who want to come and play for, a little piece of change, nothing big, and just have a fun time playing football. Who's saying 40-0 offense didn't even play to the that's what I mean. It's like 40-0, but damn, it could have been 6. That's the world we live in now, man, as Bills fans. It's great. Jake Hutchinson playing for the Seahawks, and Thomas. Yeah, they're 40 to 50 pounds lighter. They're just totally, because carrying, if for the older guys like Tom, Jake a little bit, myself, offensive linemen, 280, 275, 290 was big. The Hogs had like, none of them, like Joe Jacoby, Bostic, Jim Lachey, they were like 290. When Dallas started getting like the 300, like Eric Williams and then Larry Allen. And then that trend kind of flipped when Denver had the smaller lines under Shanahan. So it's different. It's a different recipe for everybody, but if that works for him, that works for him. So Feliciano's body is his own. Jay Reamer, best Bills tight end you ever seen, Travis Dale. And I remember when Pete Metzelaars and Keith McKellar, who was the reason they called it the K gun, was because of McKellar. They had a little two-headed monster going. Butch Roll would always catch those little play action dump touchdowns near the goal line. I remember that very well. Number 87. Mitch Farrat would do it, but he was offensive lineman eligible. Fina did it a couple of times as a rookie, as tackle eligible. Lonnie Johnson is another tight end. Bobby Collins was kind of a bust. Sean Nelson in like 2009-10 era. Oh, he's an athletic guy, but never anything came to fruition. Maybe it would have under this staff, which is player development, practice what you preach. Guys who put out in practice, they get on the field on Sundays. Guys who maybe don't, or maybe game plan specific, they're in street clothes. Trevor, yeah, they're not in good shape. I'm going to bring that up too, because I will say this. I did watch, I don't know a lot of you if you watched the I think they went to extra coverage, the Jets and Titans, because they went into overtime. I saw more big time throws. He had a nice game by Zach Wilson in the second half of the game than I've ever seen from Tua in all 11 NFL games he's played. Granted, he's been pulled in 2 of those games. Pulled. Didn't even get to finish them. And yeah, and he's injured, and Miami is 1-3, and they are. Yeah, Charles Clay. And how many big plays did Charles Clay have? I remember in 2017, Tyrod Taylor hit him in. He had a big game in Atlanta, really big game in Atlanta. That's the biggest game I remember him having for the Bills was 2017, McDermott's first year in Atlanta. Atlanta's coming off the 28-3 Super Bowl loss, comeback, and Bills go in there and beat them. And yeah, that was the biggest game I remember him having. I think he caught like a couple of big passes in that game. Yeah, he was pretty damn overpaid. I don't know. Derek Dockery and Langston Walker were pretty overpaid and never did a damn thing. Those guys are pretty overpaid, like useless dudes. I think Clay did a little bit more than those guys. A little bit more than those guys, I will say. What's up, man? Defense was awesome. I mean, but let's look back, guys. Let's do a little reminisce, really quick history. How many times over the years were we the Texans as Bills fans? Like, I remember a game in 2009 where Brian Brom quarterbacked the Bills in Atlanta, and they just got their brains kicked in. Brom threw like 3 interceptions. I think the Bills scored like 3 points. It was just pathetic. Another pathetic loss. There was a couple other games the Bills had. I remember, he's well liked amongst Bills fans and stuff, but not the best. He was okay. I mean, Alex Van Pelt had a few of those games for the Bills in the early 2000s. We had been that Houston team for so long. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm going to enjoy my football team looking great, so I didn't have any time to feel bad for them. He plays a lot for the Jets, though, Timothy. He plays a lot for the Jets. Bass was nice today. Bass was clutch in the rain. He was solid. Nothing was shaky. He put him through. I'm still very confident in him, but I'm still kind of like, how's he going to do in this weather? How's he going to do in this type of weather? Wet ball, raining, wind blew a little bit, but he was great. Tom, I think what's killing fan nowadays in sports, second tier teams gets up, nobody cares. Down and out bad teams used to be good. Mix Me Too and old. Yeah, it's the way of it now. It's such an immediate society we live in, Tom. It's like instant gratification, want it now, want it yesterday. So the older dudes, sometimes people get more impatient as they get older, though. Hussein, we never gave the Texans kind of bad, which yeah, we were never Texans kind of bad right now, and we were worse because we could either the quarterbacks we had weren't good enough, or we were never bad enough to try to get a good quarterback at the top of the draft. Dave Culley, the QB guy, yeah, I mean, they're just not an NFL team, man. They're running out over 25 guys who just aren't supposed to be on NFL rosters. Yeah, he was, yeah. I mean, what else can you say? Yeah, we were always guaranteed 10-6, 7-9, and we were just never going to get, drafting between 8 to 12. Never going to get one of those top tier guys doing that. Even though they did only have to trade up to 7 to get Allen, they had a trade in place to go up to 5 if needed, but they ended up getting him at 7, which has been amazing. Timothy, when Dallas is good, that's all you hear about. You know what? There's a phrase that I hate. I'm going to bring this guy's up because Tom brought it up. Is yeah, you're talking about like Browns too, Tom, like a team like the Browns, the Bills. I hate this phrase. Like, I'll use the Raiders, I'll use the Cowboys. When the Raiders or Cowboys are good, it's the league is better. It's a better league when those teams are good. Who the fuck says? Who? So that means somebody else has to, for them to be good, that in turn means somebody else has to be bad. Maybe it's better for their talking points that they're better, but in my opinion, that's so fucking insulting to the rest of the league. So what? That means that when this team is good, it's not a better league? Fuck out of here. I loathe that saying. When they say that, it drives me up the fucking wall. It's such a, I don't know, it's just a cliched saying. I hate it. Let me read some of the comments. Soda, good experience game. Yeah, you even forget about him too. Like Jaquan Johnson just looked good today. Was in position, wasn't caught out of position, sure-handed on the interception, nice on the return, played physical. All our young secondary, they really came downhill and played physical. If receivers caught passes, they were right there to hit them, jar the ball loose, make tackles. There wasn't a lot of, as sloppy of a day it was out there weather-wise. It wasn't, the Bills' defense was not sloppy at all. They were crisp, they were focused, they were furious, and they held them to 0. I know Oliver got in on some big run stops, had some nice penetration up the middle, didn't get a sack, but he really flushed Mills out a few times and had some big run stuffs in there too. It's better because the networks want that. Yeah, it's that, Jerry. Oh, what's up, Damager? How you doing, bro? I have to look at your snaps, man. I saw you hit me up earlier, and then I had to jump on here because I know you guys, like myself, we do want to sit down and watch. I think this is probably the only time in most of our lives that we're all going to sit here and root for Tom Brady to beat the Patriots' brains in tonight. I think we can all agree on that. So I wanted to get on here and do this a little bit with you guys. There was probably more coverage of Washington than Buffalo Barkley. It's like I've seen that. Oh, Heineke and all these. There's just certain owners, and there's just certain circles. They'll get that, and that's just what it is. I mean, I'm good with the Bills being quietly good in our own bubble. I don't give a fuck about all the national idiots or whatever. I think the Brandt guy likes the Bills. Traeger will talk nice about the Bills. Adam Shine will talk nice about the Bills, but otherwise, I don't really care. Boomer Esiason loves Josh Allen. I mean, I hear him a lot on the radio here, WFAN. He was also the CBS in studio guys did the broadcast while the guy I think there was a woman and Tiki Barber were at the stadium. They weren't, and yeah, he gushes about Josh Allen all the time. If you listen to him, I still haven't figured out why the Cowboys, because they were always on TV in the 60s. People loved Don Meredith, and there was one season, as a matter of fact, I think it was only for one season, their stripe on their helmet was red, white, and blue. and they had no other red in their uniform, but that was the red, white, and blue stripe. And from that, they were called America's team. And then a guy that was like, I think he did go to Vietnam, or he flew. He was in the Air Force. Roger Staubach ended up being their quarterback. He didn't go to the Cowboys right away. So there was other, stuff there. Cowboys that coming out of the Western era, a lot of Western movies in the 30s, 40s, and 60s. John Wayne, Hang 'em High with Clint Eastwood and Gunsmoke. So I think it was that. They were on TV a lot. I'll say that's what they were on TV a lot. Damager Knox looks nice, man, and he had 5 catches today, 37 yards, but still like sure-handed. That catch and run for the touchdown, nice easy little catch. It's having a tight end really adds so much to this offense. And I don't know if you guys noticed, he didn't get any passes thrown his way. Tommy Sweeney was on the field a little bit more than usual, mainly because maybe it was the weather. He was doing a lot of blocking, but he was on the field. They were running some 22 personnel, 2 tight ends, 1 back. They were doing some 21 with the fullback, Gilliam, like offset I. They were really mixing up formation-wise that we're not, we're seeing more and more of it, is what I'll say. Let me read some of the comments here. Seahawks up 28-13, Jake says. Other Niners fans panicking this season. Yeah, I don't know, Jake, if Lance is playing in the game. One of the talking heads, Blue Checks on Twitter, said that Garoppolo got benched. I don't know that. Timothy, CBS guys filling in was an improvement. Oliver played, he played good, Damager. Like, I didn't see anything bad. He got into the backfield. He stuffed up the run. We are. We're next, man. Sunday night. Ramius? He's there, man. He ate dinner, so when he eats dinner and he goes to sleep, he'll get up and walk around a little bit, then he waits for me to go to bed. What's up, Tom? Yeah, I remember the time not too long ago, sports media reported honesty when we sucked, which we did for a long time. Have no problem with the Cowboys. Yeah, it's the big market teams, it's the teams that get eyes, it's the teams that have owners that are very influential behind the scenes. You build a big, fancy, nice new building in LA, Las Vegas, you have Jerry's World. You get a lot of, pull and push behind the scenes with, talk about our team, good, bad, or indifferent. There's a thing in marketing where it's like, any attention is good attention, good, bad, or indifferent. As long as they're talking about you, it's good. They don't care if it's bad. If we're 13-3 or we're 3-13, they're still talking about us. That's awesome with us. Trevor, man, I know I shouldn't, but I always get nervous that's normal, man. That's normal because everybody's watching. The team is under a spotlight, and that's the point. When you want to play in the biggest games, you're going to be under that spotlight. You're not going to do it at 1:00 on a Sunday with 9 other games going on. You're going to do it when you're the only show in town, and that's what you play for. That's what they play for. Damager, I like the running game again this week, better and better. Yeah, Spencer Brown is going to be starting on this offensive line going forward. If he's in, I just no doubt about it. Likewise, Tom. Allen needs to focus and I think they just need to just do what they do and just, not think of it too much. Oh, looks like Arizona is going to beat the Rams in LA 37-20. And Baltimore is going to beat Denver. I don't know. When I looked last time, I saw Drew Lock at quarterback. Maybe Bridgewater got hurt, if somebody can tell me. But I think what's his name got hurt in that game. But they look like they're going to take their first L, and the Rams are going to take their first L. I know Kyler Murray played well, and I don't know. I don't think Stafford did all that great today. I mean, I know that he gets a lot of hype and he's liked, and in league circles, he's viewed as this martyr that was just in a bad situation. I just don't think he's a big game quarterback that's going to do things in big games. I mean, we as a Bills team that have not been good over the years. I mean, Kyle Orton's first game comes to mind in Detroit. Josh Allen's rookie year in Buffalo with a bad Bills team, 2018. I had no fear of Matthew Stafford at all. I had no fear of him beating us or tearing us apart or just running up the score. I was just like, the Bills can beat this team, you know. So I don't care if he has more weapons and has a great play caller, but they take their first L, and Arizona's 4-0. Yeah, Bridgewater got a concussion. Okay. Yeah, I saw Locke in there, and I'm like, uh-oh, this guy went out. Yeah, they haven't done anything. They haven't done anything on offense. They're still 7-20. They're going to take their first loss too. Tennessee losing to the Jets is a good thing. You know, Tennessee losing that's a really good thing. They look like a little disjointed right now. Granted, they didn't have their 2 starting wide receivers who are really good. You don't have A.J. Brown, Julio Jones. Let's just take a backward step and be like, okay, that hurts. But you think their defense could hold down a rookie quarterback in an offense that just looked like it was off the street. It looked unplayable, horrible. I think they had only scored 2 offensive touchdowns in the first 3 weeks. They were, terrible. And in the second half, they just went out there and destroyed. I'm gonna say destroyed, but they beat up on they beat up on Tennessee a little bit. Yeah, Bridgewater. He just can't stay healthy. He just can't stay healthy. He's just one of those guys. He's a solid player. He just can't stay healthy. He just has that guy. It's kind of sad seeing Big Ben so bad. Yeah, it happens, but we see it. We've seen it over the years. We've seen it all over the years, guys. We've seen, some of the older guys, like, why do you think Elway left at the last Super Bowl? He just knew, he didn't want to be Dan Marino in 1999, leaving the field in Jacksonville, losing a playoff game 62-10. And if you watch that game, Marino could not throw the ball 10 yards. He looked worse than Peyton Manning did 2015. Remember that? It's like it happens to these guys where they go out there and they can't even function. It's the guy. He just has the jersey on, but it's not him. Drew Brees was a good example last year, but he wasn't as eroded as those other 2 guys were. Yeah, Brady just is Deion's good, man. He came back on. He came back on the next play, Damager. It's a 7 sack. What's that, Jake? Clarify for me, brother. Barkley, how long will Brown and Jones be out? I'm not sure who you're talking about, Brown and Jones. Oh, okay. They didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. The wide receivers for 10. I'm all over the place. They have hamstring injuries. I'm not sure. Hamstrings are tricky. Hamstrings are like calves. They could go away in a few days, or they could linger for a month. They're weird. So I can't tell you. Yeah, that Brady just takes care of his body. I know he does a lot of crazy soft tissue stuff. And I know they conceal a lot more than they reveal. They can put all that TB12 shit out there, but he does a lot of crazy plyometric. I know he's a big alkaline body guy, which oxygenizes your body, keeping the inflammatories like down to nothing. And it's allowed him to stay on the field. And he's never really had a big arm injury or head injury. It's like when you look at Peyton Manning, who had 3 neck surgeries, or Elway, who had multiple knee injuries. Marino had the blown Achilles and a couple of knees. So I know Brady had the 1 knee in 18, but outside of that, he's really not sustained any like devastating where he'd miss games or anything like that. He just had that one where he missed the one season and that was it. But hats off to him, man. It's called drugs. You never know, man. You never know. I mean, I know he's lasted this long and he still has to make the passes. And there's no drug that makes you an accurate passer. There's no drug that makes you a tougher competitor or somebody who wants to go out there and will yourself to work and watch film. I still give him credit, for that. But it was sad. Yeah, it was bad. I'll agree with Tom. It was a bad ending. I mean, the Bills had beat them. The Jets had 7 sacks. Wow. I know they hit. I saw them hit Tannehill late and he fumbled, but they recovered it. I didn't realize it got to him 7 times and they have nobody rushing the. Wow. Tennessee must really have some offensive line issues. Yeah, I've seen him do that, Barkley. He'll just do that little crumble fetal position in the pocket when he knows he's going to get lit up. He's smart. When you can play the game in slow motion like he must do in his mind because he's done it so many times. How often do Bills fans get that? All right, bro, Hussein, take care, man. Home Depot. Do they close early on Sunday? I usually close around 10. I'm there all the time in Lowe's, so they have different hours on Sunday. So do your thing, man. Yeah, Tennessee's all line does look bad, man. Thanks for popping in, Hussein. I appreciate last week too, man. That invite was really, really kind of you. Thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't join you. Jets pass rush. Tannehill held the ball too long. I don't know. To get 7 sacks, that has to be a combination of everything. I know when a team runs hard play action like Tennessee does, that generally means deeper routes. That means the protection has to hold up longer. So it's probably a combination of both. Like you're waiting for the routes to develop, your offensive line has to hold up, and if there's a breakdown there, boom. So look at today. It's crazy because Rodgers is 19 to 35, not very accurate, 230 and change, 2 touchdowns. Ben has a similar day, 1 less touchdown. It's just they really weren't able to make any kind of plays. Especially the defense for the Steelers hasn't been able to do anything. So yeah, Kansas City got right in Philadelphia, but Philadelphia rolled up some points, so that's encouraging. I don't know if you guys saw this game. Ugly slop fest. It was like a old school battle. Cleveland and Minnesota, 14-7, and it was like I think it was a safety or a 2-point conversion that they got. They got 8, and then they got 2 field goals, and then Minnesota only got the 1 touchdown. Get the dip, Vic, go Buffalo. Week 1 is a liar. It sure is, man. It definitely is. Matt Soda, the interior line has been mangled, but look good today, especially in the run. I think that they're figuring this out. It's like last year. The offensive line last year, it was solid, really good in pass protection. We didn't know how good Darrell Williams was or wasn't going to be, but he had a really good year last year. Ike Bucker ended up settling things down after Cody Ford got hurt. Then we got to remember the whole Quentin Spain issue. They had Brian Winters starting because Feliciano was hurt. He didn't get back on the field till week 7. And then Morse went down with a concussion or 2. I think 1, and then Feliciano kicked into center. The only guy who was just at his position all year were the 2 tackles, Williams and Dawkins. So they're still, they're trying to find the best 5, and every year's best 5 is different. It's very rare where you see those lines like Dallas for those few years, and like what the Cleveland has now, where they have just this bedrock 5 and they just roll out. I just think Ben actually did play. He did play bad. Oh yeah, he did. I'm not saying the stat line is deceiving, is what I'm saying. I'm frozen right now. I don't know why, but it's all good. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Oh, I think the room froze up a little bit. Oh, there we go. Yeah, he did. He did play. He did not play good today. It's just the stat line deceives you. Trevor, I was watching the Cardinals game earlier. Saw Hopkins bitching to the refs. He had a few. I saw that a couple of times. Josh makes more difficult throw. He made some crazy throws today. Like the one start of the second quarter, rolling to his right, hitting Diggs was really, that was a crazy. And Rodgers makes that throw. Um, the deep ball to Diggs, and their run defense has been good. Bills' run defense is top after today. It might be best in the league because they were only allowing 76 point something a clip, and they didn't allow any yards today. So I don't know what their record is going to be now. I know I've been frozen a bunch of times, guys. I apologize. I'm probably going to be on for just a little bit while longer. I'll let you guys, get on with your Sundays and go, watch the rest of this game or get ready for the Sunday night game. I'm just going to try to go glance at what the Bills did defensively in totality today. Everything is reloading on my computer. It's crazy. Everything got frozen and shit. Apologize for that. I hope these games are over, so I'm going to click off these tabs. It's a really, really, really nice Sunday. It's like a Sunday where you're going to win. You just didn't want to see anybody go down to some horrific injury, getting carted off the field, something just terrible like that. Look at that AFC North. Everybody is 3-1, and the Steelers are about to drop to 1-3. What a role reversal for the Steelers. They ran that division for so long. Now they're the bottom feeders. And see, the NFL.com is terrible for stats. You can't rely on the flagship team website for stats. That's terrible. Josh looks more athletic than Marino out there. Oh, he's way more athletic than Marino. Marino was a statue. He just had a really quick release. He couldn't run for shit. What's up, Damager? Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. That's what I wanted to do, Damager. I didn't want to be on messing everybody's thing. Everybody wants to relax and watch this game coming up. What's up? Do you think Spencer Brown? Yeah, I think he is. I think Spencer Brown is going to be the right tackle. I got a tip. You can go look at my Twitter timeline. I tweeted it the 28th. I believe it was Tuesday, or I think it was a Tuesday, and I got a little inbox. Birdie told me Brown was gonna start, and it was decided that Sunday night after the game that he was, and after the Washington game, and I was like, okay, so. And he only played 8 plays. Think of it like that. He only played 8 plays last week, and then he's starting. So this is something the coaches and I'm sure they've been talking about for a little while now. So something just happened overnight. They don't operate in a vacuum. This coaching staff, they definitely do not do that. I'm trying to find today what today's the total game stats were, and it's terrible that you can't find anything, because I'm just looking for team stats. I'm not looking for okay, box score. See, NFL.com is terrible. Their stats don't get updated. Their team stats are blank. Looking for team stats for today. Box score, team stats. Okay, today the Bills had 26 first downs to Houston's 6. Houston only ran 42 offensive plays. What's up, Rough Buff? How you doing, bro? 42 offensive plays. Wow, to 71. They just 109 total yards. 109 total yards. They ran 12 drives and only averaged 2.6 yards per play. This is a rushing stat. This was per pass. They were 11. He was 11 for 21 passing, averaging 2.5 yards per pass. He threw 4 picks, 48 rushing yards, guys. 48 rushing yards. and the Bills held the ball. Their defense. That's another great thing under like you kind of it gets lost. The Bills defense was only on the field. They were only on the field for 21 minutes and change. They were really stressed. They played downhill all game. They were never getting hammered on or made to run around a lot. So they really got to save their legs this week. Really, really. I mean, it was like that's why I think Milano got held out. Like they were like, look, it's wet out there. Your hammy is like, you felt it tighten up or whatever. You stay here. You're not going anywhere. And I'm totally good with that. Yahoo has good stats. I never checked them out, man. Yeah, the arm talent is insane. Yeah, I think so too, Tim. I think there was just the friends and family first downs at the end. They didn't even get a score. I think we can have one or two more. One or two more. It was a good day of football today. I mean, Bills did their thing. They shut out a team they're supposed to beat up on. They did that. Giants won. Wow, they shocked their teams. One that helps us. I feel like Tennessee losing helps the Bills for seeding. Giants go into a place the Bills are going to go to, and they're not near as good a football team as the Bills, and beat a Saints team that all this talk about Peyton, Sean Payton resurrecting Jameis Winston. If you guys watched the end of that game, he was scared to let Jameis Winston make a play with his arm. And then conversely, on the other end, Jones made the big plays with his arm, and they won. That was a really impressive win for the Giants, a team that looked as dead in the water as you could look, and they won. So hats off to them, man. If you count the preseason, we have 3 shutouts. If you don't suffer a block punt, yeah, I mean, even then, like if you look at our scoring, our defensive scoring, we have 2 shutouts, right? The first game, 23 points, 7 of those are on a block punt. Game against Washington, Bills give up a short field on a botched kickoff return, and they ended up scoring 21. And then the one touchdown drive was a friends and family touchdown at the end to Logan Thomas, and then the 79-yard screen. So I mean, those things all happen during the course of a game, and you can't just delete them. But if you look at it in context, this defense from play one to today is playing as good as any defense as there is. Are any more winless teams? I don't know. I don't think that. I think maybe there's 1 or 2. I'm not sure. Let me check. Let me check right now. Detroit and Jacksonville. Detroit and Jacksonville are the only 2 winless teams in the league. Yeah, Damager. They're. I'm big on that. Anybody who knows me knows how big I am with that. They are by far the best in the league. They've been amazing. They have been great. They have I mean, you think about a rebuild, everything that it all started with everything they did in the building first, and then it later translated to the field. I can't bitch. This is the first helicopter of today. Still annoying, but everything they did, just rebuilding the training facility, the weight room, the rehabilitation, the therapy, everything. It's insane what they did. They turned that place into like a real true blue football like machine. That's all we ever wanted. All we ever wanted. Carolina had the number ones. But you know what? With the Carolina, and they have good players too. There's some good players on that team. I love Brian Burns, Jeremy Chin. I really like those guys. But I was a little. I thought they could stop Dallas a little bit because Dallas had problems with saying the LA Chargers, and I was a little like they got roasted a little bit late. So nah, man, you hear about them that happen in game, but they're smart with their guys and they bring them back fast, man. They get their guys back on the field. You don't see these like big long absences like, oh, this guy's out. Like even with Milano last year, right? They said, you know what, we'll put you on IR. We don't want you to play. He was on IR. I think he missed like 4 to 5 weeks, and then they just played him, play third down defense, play in spots. And then he kind of just built up, built up, built up, and then till like the end of the year, he was playing like Matt Milano that we know. He was great, and yeah, I mean, that a pec is dangerous. Like you tear your pec. Yeah, I don't know if you ever seen somebody with a torn pec. Oof, your whole chest is black and blue. It looks like somebody hit you with a sledgehammer. Dallas is playing well. Dallas is playing well. Their young players on defense are really coming through for them, and their offense is clicking. So they're in a division where they can win it. I mean, there's really nobody else in that division. Maybe if the Giants start building on this win, can give them a game. Maybe the Redskins because they're scrappy. I think the Redskins are scrappy, and you have to. I mean, they won in Atlanta today, high scoring game. They're a scrappy team, and they're a pain in the ass. I'll put it that way. You can beat them, but they're a pain in the ass. Knock on wood, dude. Woo! Always, every game, end of every quarter, nothing happens. I do it because you know what? I think about this Bills team more so than anything, and I think we can all agree on this. This group of players is likable. Like I like these guys. Like as guys, like the way they are, the way they act, the way they communicate, the way I hear about the way they are with fans in the public, and the way they are with they're likable guys. Like they look like good dudes. Oh yeah, that National Nepotism League. Jack Collins. Oh my God, he's on this dude. He's got a primetime spot. National Nepotism League, the Friends and Family League. Um, I knock on wood every time because I'm just glad those guys make it through, and because I genuinely care about their health. I don't want to see them, get Kevin Everett treatment. I don't want to see that for anybody. I don't want to see that to any player, but let alone guys like Bills players or guys that I like as people and as Bills players. Granted, I don't know them personally, but from what I've seen, they're very likable. It's important. I think that's an important component. Jay Barkley, Bills are the first team since 2000. Ravens 2 shutouts in the first 4 games. That's pretty good, bro. It's pretty good company. And I alluded to a couple of situations just before where 7 of those points is on a block punt, like gift block punt, and then you look at the scoring defense. It's under 10 points a game. You bake in 2 shutouts to 4 games. It's what? That's a little over. It's a little over 10 points a game, but it's minuscule. And if you take away those 2 situations, it's like I think it's under 10. So they're doing an amazing job. But guys, I'm going to jump off of here. Thank you so much. I know we're all about to watch the Sunday night game. We're all going to be rooting for Tommy Terrific to destroy the, just the ungrateful, arrogant, supercilious New England Patriots. I saw some thing I retweeted from Bucky Brooks. I don't know if it was Bucky Brooks or something that he subtweeted. It said, "Did the Patriots find their new Tom Brady?" And I'm like, you're already saying Mac Jones and Tom Brady in the same breath? Like, are you insane? Like, it just never ends. It just really never ends. The fairy tales with this team just make me sick. I just can't stand it. Yeah, that was a good face that they I saw that. Damager, they will look like they want to be there. No cancer. Yeah, they no cancers. There's no Mario Williams situations. There's no crazy. And if they have an issue in locker room or with a player or thing, they get rid of the guy. Like you have a situation in the first year where they were able to trade Darius, after that whole situation. They probably wanted to get out from underneath him anyway. The Quentin Spain thing, it's not he's a bad guy, just maybe he didn't like the playing time situation, didn't want to be amenable to it. They moved on from him. Vontae Davis, addition by subtraction. They find ways to put out fires and find people that want to be there and people that are likable. Every guy they've pretty much brought in has been of that ilk. They really are really big on character and good character. Like you got to be a good player, but your character matters. The whole Bills do very well thing was the most one. That was probably one of the things that made me the sickest as a Bills fan. Like when he was just like, "Oh, the Bill," when they told him like, "Oh, you flew back private," and he's like, "Oh yeah, the Bills do very well." The way he was smart, it's like, talk about a guy who's just so out of touch. I don't want to go there yet, Jake. I don't want to go there. I want to enjoy this. I gotta say, I'm taking my 72 hour. I'm taking my rule. 72 hours, man. Players get 12. They don't really have 24 hours. They have a 12-hour rule. I'll let them lie to you. Thanks, Barkley. I appreciate it, man. You guys are great. You come and blow up the room. I just come in here and babble like an idiot, and you guys make it live. So that's all I do, and that's the fun part about it. And I just come in here and babble, and you guys make it live. So, and I have no idea what's going. It's 60 minutes. I don't even want to watch the start of it. Oh, that's why, because I don't have it on NBC. Is that why you said Jack Collinsworth? They already have him on in the start. He used to only come on in the end. I guess they're putting more on his plate. He's so annoying. He used to do the Notre Dame stuff for their football team or their sports, whatever. I think he went there. Yeah, they've gone there obviously, but yeah, it's like, come on, dude. They do the pro football focus grades. Like, yeah, Chris Collinsworth owns it and shit. It's like, come on, no conflict of interest there. It's sickening, but it is what it is. Oh, what are you doing up, Bubba? He wants to watch the game. So, all right, guys, go Bills. Love you all. Dawson Knox, 2 more touchdowns, leads the team with 4. Another shutout. Donut on the board. Clean sheet. Bills 40-0. Plus 90. Plus 90. After only 2 weeks, plus 90 scoring differential. It's going to ratchet up really quick this week, though. So, and they knew it. They know this week the difference in talent, competition, the step up is coming, and I think that they'll be ready for it, man. Love you all, man. Go Bills. Yeah, man. They should. They need another. Their quarterback situation's a mess, but appreciate you guys. Thanks, man. Go Bills. Love you all. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna try that one day. It would have been nice to watch today. It would have been a fun, easy game to watch. Maybe later in the year, get a laugher or something like that. When they're got 10+ wins, we're all chill. I'll turn on a live feed, man. We'll watch. Peace, Damager, Jake, Santos, Tom. It's love you all. Go Bills, man. What'd you think, Ramius?